What happened on the small Koppie or Scene 2 on 16 August 2012 when police opened fire on striking mine workers in Marikana outside Rustenburg in the northwest. For more on this, we crossed our reporter Nozintombi Miya in Pretoria. Good afternoon, Nozintombi. Give us some details that are going to emerge from that briefing.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Nzinga. The details that are coming out of this report by the Institute of Security Studies are clearly damning against the South African police and how the South African police manage protests, specifically public order policing. And really, just to give a brief overview of what the key findings of the report are, is that the NPA needs to pursue further prosecutions against the police commanders who were in charge of giving the order to go to a more tactical phase at Marikana in 2012, as well as one of the other findings that the Institute of Security Studies has also revealed in their report is that public trust between the police and South African citizens needs to be rebuilt in earnest, and that the police need to be demilitarized. Now, to talk to us a little bit more about the findings of this report is Mr. Gareth Newham. He has been quite instrumental in helping to compile this report. Gareth, thank you so much for joining me. You know, I spoke just briefly about some of the findings of this report, but for you, what was the most pertinent finding that you feel this report shed light on?
Well, this report really sought to give the most detailed account of what happened at the second scene at Marikana. There were two scenes. At scene 1, 17 mine workers were shot and killed, and another 70 were severely injured. And we have images of that. That was well covered by the media. But then about 15 minutes later, the police surrounded a Koppie. Three different groups of police from 4 different units, and over the next 11 minutes they fired another 295 shots at cowering mine workers who were trying to take cover behind rocks and bushes, killing another 17 people. Now, there's no detailed account of what happened there because the Farnham Commission of Inquiry into Marikana made a recommendation that IPID investigate this and do a scene reconstruction. The reason why, because the version that the police gave under oath before the Marikana Commission was not truth. It was not truthful. There was not in accordance to the forensic hard evidence about what had happened. So they could not accept the police's version. The police also only tried to give explanations for 2 of the 17 murders or killings. So ultimately, this report tries to explain exactly what happened in great detail.
Now, one of your panel members was quite scathing about the police's untruths in expressing what exactly happened. How do you think the police need to deal with a situation like this going forward, where they're not in front of the cameras? No, there's no accounting of what actually happens when the police do deal with protesters. What should be the order and what should happen?
The police have a code of conduct and a code of ethics, and both are clear that police officials are expected to tell the truth and act with integrity. And I think we now need to see that when police officials are not willing to give a truthful account of what they know or account of what they did, there must be serious disciplinary charges against them. And if they do this under oath, they must be criminally charged with perjury, because honest police officers will then have nothing to fear, only those that are telling lies.
Now, Gareth, just a final question. Going forward, how do the police build public trust again, and how do they become demilitarized? Just briefly.
The police have a vast amount of recommendations from the National Development Plan, the White Paper on Policing, the Marikana Commission itself, and a panel of experts that have finished its report recently. So what the police need to do is provide a very detailed, clear plan with key objectives that they roll out over the next, say, 2 to 3 years that will demonstrate that if you're an honest, hard-working member of the South African Police Service, you will have a long career. But if you're acting outside of the Code of Conduct, you will have a short career because you'll be fired for acting outside of the Code of Conduct or lying.
And to rebuild public trust?
Public trust is rebuilt when every time a member of the public, even if they are criminal suspects, have an engagement with a South African police official, they leave feeling they have been in the presence of a highly trained, skilled, dedicated man or woman who's committed to serving this country and this communities.
Gareth Newham from the Institute of Security Studies, just shedding more light on the key findings of today's report on how the South African police can rebuild trust with the community, and also to ensure that the Marikana Commission's findings are not just left in the wind, and that they are adhered to, and that those police officers who were found guilty or were found to have participated in the killing of the 34 miners on the Koppie at both Scene 1 and Scene 2 are held to account for what they did and for their behavior. For now, it's back to you in the studio.
Nozintombi Miya coming to us live there from Pretoria. Let's stay on the issue of police. Nompumelelo, over to you.